All right. Assume the position. Do you know what the cure drive is? Have you done lesson 1? Because if so, and you're watching this movie, you now know that you will be trained in this movie to follow a thread of signals, should you choose to accept your training, to which you have if you've done lesson 1. You've already chosen to accept the training. To a negative medical test on HIV and beyond. And you also know that you're going to be getting some signals in this movie. I mean, you can expect that. So you want to be in position to receive them. And if you haven't done any of those things, you don't know what I'm talking about. And if you found this through YouTube, you stumbled across it there, it's this website, or hivcureshow.org. And you want to, if you found it through HIV Cure Show, then lesson 1 was the movie that started playing when the page opened, and maybe you've done lesson 1 already, hopefully, and you're now ready to go. And what I'm going to be doing in this movie is I guess I'll start by telling you the story of the first time I ever saw somebody kill HIV in 1996. And if you haven't done lesson 1, you know, you'll probably still be getting signals, but you won't know what they are or what to do with them. So I would suggest that you start the right way. Now look, you don't have to pay anything to do lesson 1. You don't have to sign up for anything. You don't have to give your email address. Nothing, you know. But you know what? If you did it, you know that lesson 1 is a lot more work. And it takes a lot more of you than any of those things. Than doing any of those things. So, if you've paid your dues and you're ready to hear the wisdom that I am now going to impart to you. About the first person whose life I ever saved from AIDS. He was dying of AIDS. And if you're HIV positive, you want to hear the story of Chuck LaSpada, who may watch this himself. And it is to my undying shame that I and the thousands of people who have come through here, none of us, not a single one of us, has been powerful enough, one way or another, to get this ability, this skill, to the people who desperately need it. I mean, we've reached some of them, you know. See the tally at the top of the page? This is the old tally on the bumper sticker, and the new tally is at the top of the page. And if you're on a YouTube page, there's no tally. But hey, you know, you can always see the tally. And what the cure drive is you develop the skill of curing things, and you report your cures in the cure drive poll. That's where the tally comes from. So now that I've told you that, let's go back to I guess it was 96. It may have been very late in 95. And Bill Pelly, who you will hear from and about again, I guess I should say, in the hepatitis cure movie, which will be on hepatitiscureshow.org page. Or you can just go to this home page and click on hepatitis and you'll be right there. Okay, Bill Pelly was prowling around looking for a life partner. And he went to a retreat, I guess they called it, in the Catskills, I think it was, for gay men. He told me, I think there was about 2,000 guys showed up for this thing. It must have been at one of those places like Grossinger's or something, you know. And it was one of these things where they have a lot of different workshops going on simultaneously, so you can pick and choose the workshop you go to. And then they had hours where everybody could be together, you know, in one big, you know, auditorium or outside or whatever, I don't know. But anyway, so he was at one of those, and he said about 1,000 of them showed up for that, you know. And so he's out there, you know, and the facilitator invited anybody who wanted to stand up and say something. Okay, so this had to be maybe mid-96, actually, because this would be after Bill cured his hepatitis. Bill stands up. Okay, great. Bill stands up and he says, I cured hepatitis B. Applause. And the moderator, the facilitator, whatever they call him, he said, Bill, and Bill said, you can kill the HIV virus. I don't think he said you could cure the disease or whatever, but he said you can kill the HIV virus and recover, you know. And so the guy running the thing said, hey, Bill, you shouldn't be in this thing, you should be teaching it. And Bill, you know, never taught one. I guess he wasn't he wasn't into like taking on, you know, more responsibility, you know. He was retired at that point. But I will say, you know, that Bill, for one thing, Bill is a magical person. And bringing Chuck LaSpada to me is an example of his magic. You know, Bill has created a huge number of breakthroughs for me and for the Cure Drive down through the years, Chuck LaSpada being one of them. And a lot of them he just did without trying, which is why I say he's magical. He's a manifester. This guy, you know what the secret is? Have you seen that book? Well, we used to teach that. That's what I did before I discovered people cure things, and I went on the non-profit warpath, you know, and started, you know, putting cures up on the web, you know. And you know, but a lot of these things he just came to without trying. But this one he tried. You know, he actually stood up, you know, and made an announcement. You know, he took action. He did something. And the thing that's really funny about this, well, you know, I will say, look, Bill has been, in his life, he has been a person who did change the world. Okay, Bill was one of 6 people who was in charge of civil rights in this country for years. I mean, he was the director of fair housing and equal opportunity. Bill once cut off all federal funding to the city of Philadelphia for their discriminatory hiring practices. I love, you know, he came out in the Reagan administration, he wore an earring to work. What a man.